Former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, one of the most deranged of Trump derangement syndrome victims, claims President Donald Trump and his family have caused more harm to America than Osama bin Laden, the deceased Islamic terrorist who orchestrated the September 11 attacks that killed 2,996 Americans. Olbermann literally wrote as much in a tweet sent Wednesday to the president's son Donald Trump Jr. That read, "You and your family have done more damage to America than bin Laden and ISIS combined." That's Trump derangement syndrome in action. Speaking on The View 2 days later, he doubled down when asked by co-host Sunny Hostin whether he really believes his own nonsense. "Yeah, we did really well after 9/11, Olbermann replied. "I don't think that the country has given itself enough credit for what we did not do. We did not restrict all the freedoms in this country. We did not single out people." When co-host Meghan McCain retorted by noting 3,000 died on 9/11, Olbermann replied, "But more people died in the Iraq War than died in 9/11. We didn't need to be there as a response. That's called deflection. You think bin Laden did less to damage America than President Trump?" McCain then asked. Former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, one of the most deranged of Trump derangement syndrome victims, claims President Donald Trump and his family have caused more harm to America than Osama bin Laden, the deceased Islamic terrorist who orchestrated the September 11 attacks that killed 2,996 Americans. Olbermann literally wrote as much in a tweet sent Wednesday to the president's son Donald Trump Jr. That read, "You and your family have done more damage to America than bin Laden and ISIS combined." That's Trump derangement syndrome in action. Speaking on The View 2 days later, he doubled down when asked by co-host Sunny Hostin whether he really believes his own nonsense. "Yeah, we did really well after 9/11, Olbermann replied. "I don't think that the country has given itself enough credit for what we did not do. We did not restrict all the freedoms in this country. We did not single out people." When co-host Meghan McCain retorted by noting 3,000 died on 9/11, Olbermann replied, "But more people died in the Iraq War than died in 9/11. We didn't need to be there as a response. That's called deflection. You think bin Laden did less to damage America than President Trump?" McCain then asked. Can former FBI Director Robert Mueller be trusted as the impartial special counsel on the team looking into allegations that the Donald Trump campaign colluded with the Russians to win the election? A new piece of legislation says no, and it makes a compelling case for asking Mueller to step down. On Friday, Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida introduced a sense of the House resolution that criticizes the one-time FBI chief for his role in the scandal surrounding the 2010 Uranium One deal and states Mueller should resign his position as special counsel. The legislation declares that any thorough and honest investigation into the corruption of American uranium-related business must include investigating the willful blindness of the FBI and its leaders, according to the Washington Examiner. Mueller was the director of the FBI in 2010. The Uranium One deal allowed a Russian state-owned firm to purchase a significant amount of American uranium assets. The arrangement was facilitated by former President Bill Clinton, who personally traveled to Russia at the time and received $500,000 in speaking fees from a Russian bank with ties to the deal. Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and other members of the Obama administration rubber-stamped the agreement. At the same time, the Clinton Foundation received a large sum of donations from people connected to the deal. In essence, the bill from Getz accuses Mueller of turning a blind eye to the shady uranium deal, even though there are indications that it bent or broke the law. 2 additional congressmen, Andy Biggs of Arizona and Louis Gohmert of Texas, are also sponsoring the legislation. However, it is unlikely to be supported by centrist Republicans such as Paul Ryan. Predictably, Democrats trashed the bill and dismissed it as a joke. I'm sure that the special counsel, a Republican former U.S. attorney who was the longest-serving FBI director since J. Edgar Hoover, and an exceptional lawyer, needs no career counseling or lectures on prosecutorial bias from a politician who endorsed Donald Trump on the first day of his campaign and has never raised a peep about the rampant ethical transgressions in the Trump administration, spouted Rep. Jamie Raskin, a Maryland Democrat. Of course, in light of the recent evidence regarding Hillary Clinton's rigging of the primary and peddling of fabricated dossiers, no Democrat has much room to lecture about ethical transgressions right now. The chances of this legislation actually advancing in the House are slim, but the bill serves an important purpose. It shows that at least some representatives are raising red flags and helps ensure that scandals such as the uranium deal are covered by the media. You're a Hollywood actress. You're the kind of enlightened, highly remunerated person who knows just the kind of damage Donald Trump and Mike Pence are doing to America, particularly to those Trump voting zombies in flyover country who know nothing about politics, but who still need to watch your movies and ensure you stay highly remunerated. You need to strike a blow at the system. You need to show the resistance that you get it and the conservatives they're resisting, that it's time to get with the program. You've got to engage in an act of radical symbolism and mischief that nobody of your stature and position, except for everyone else in Hollywood, would consider doing. You know what you have to do. You have to make a donation to Planned Parenthood in Mike Pence's name. Number 3 resistance. Not my president. This is at least how Mila Kunis deals with Trump being ensconced in the White House and Pence being in residence at the Naval Observatory. In an appearance on TBS Conan on Thursday, Kunis revealed she'd set up a monthly donation in the vice president's name to America's foremost abortion mill, all as a reaction to Pence's opposition to the organization. "This is when a lot of hate mail comes my way," Kunis said as she began the story. "I disagreed with some of the stuff that Pence was doing and was trying to do," Kunis told the audience. "And so, as a reminder that there are women in the world that may or may not agree with his platform, I put him on a list of recurring donations that are made in his name to Planned Parenthood," Kunis continued. "So this happens every month?" a laughing O'Brien asked. "Not every month. To his office, he gets a little letter that says an anonymous donation has been made in your name," Kunis responded. I don't look at it as a prank. I look at it just as I strongly disagree with him, and this is my little way of showing it. By la resistance. Kunis's wholly ineffectual act of defiance is nothing novel from the Hollywood left. Quixotic, ill-conceived protests against ills, real and perceived, date all the way back to the New Hollywood era, where Marlon Brando decided he would send a Native American activist in his stead to decline his 1973 Best Actor Oscar for The Godfather on the grounds of, oppression and stuff. Avid Kramer, a former State Department official and aide to Senator John McCain, has reportedly been dodging a deposition subpoena issued in a case involving the debunked Trump dossier that rocked Washington, D.C. earlier this year. Published in January by BuzzFeed, the dossier contained a slew of allegations regarding President Donald Trump that have for the most part been debunked, despite what some harebrained leftists say. Also included in the dossier was a claim that a Russian businessman by the name of Alexei Gubarev had played a significant role in the Russian government's hack of the Democrat National Committee, according to CNN. Following the dossier's publication in January, Gubarev filed a lawsuit against both BuzzFeed and its senior editor, Ben Smith, disputing the allegations and demanding they reveal their sources. As part of that lawsuit, Gubarev has subpoenaed a variety of additional individuals and organizations, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Yahoo News, CNN, and, apparently, David Kramer. But according to a brief filed in federal court this week, Kramer has been seemingly avoiding service of the deposition subpoena for weeks, as reported by the Daily Caller. Considering Kramer's boss, I'm not remotely surprised. Flashback to January, when BuzzFeed published the dossier. Around that time, the Arizona Daily Star ran a report revealing that McCain had a connection to the document. After hearing about the dossier in November of last year, he allegedly sent an emissary to seek out the dossier's source. The emissary flew back within 24 hours and showed McCain the documents, saying it was hard to impossible to verify them without a proper investigation, the Star reported. McCain said he was reluctant to get involved, lest it be perceived as payback for insulting remarks Trump had made about him during his rambunctious campaign. That emissary was Kramer, and within days of Kramer's return in December, McCain submitted a copy of the dossier to the FBI. Less than a month later, the dossier appeared in full at BuzzFeed. Some have even claimed BuzzFeed had obtained the dossier from McCain, though he continues to deny this allegation. According to the Daily Caller, Kramer isn't alone in his refusal to comply with Gubarev's deposition. The Wall Street Journal and the New York Times have been equally uncooperative, promising to fight deposition subpoenas on the grounds that their status as news organizations protects them from having to discuss this issue.